welcoming you to the first day of the MUIDS Business Forum 2023. My name is Huan Kai Rupipomonpon, and as of today, I will be hosting as this event's MC. Please stay seated and refrain from talking aloud while you're attending this forum, and turn your phones to silent mode to avoid disturbance throughout the event. If by any case you must leave this room before the end of the forum, please exit quietly through our back entrance, where staff will be waiting to escort you. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to someone who has been a crucial part of our journey, guiding us with his devoted support and expertise along the way. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause as we extend our heartfelt appreciation to our project advisor, a teacher at MUIDS specializing in the field of business, Mr. Kevin O'Donnell. His dedication, guidance, and valuable insights have been a key factor in shaping our project's success. This event also couldn't occur without the valuable support from the Social Science Department. Please join me for another round of applause. Now, let me officially welcome you to the MUIDS Business Forum 2023. As some of you may not know, this is a student-organized event, making it a shining example of student empowerment. This event showcases empowerment through the collective teamwork of our staff, through the capability of developing, organizing, and bringing to life an event that reflects our MUIDS students' creativity and determination. It is my pleasure to introduce the driving forces behind this forum, who pour their hearts and souls into making this event a reality. Allow me to introduce our project directors. Peter, Jackie, and Puff, our very own grade 12 students of MUIDS. This business forum was arranged with the purpose of educating both teachers and students about the world of finance through the view of successful entrepreneurs. This idea began way back during the break our last semester, with our 3 project directors having been inspired through various outlets in the world of business. Presentation slides started right away and were presented on the 9th and 15th of August by our project directors. Subsequently, our honored speakers were contacted via email that were obtained due to the exclusive event that one of our project directors had partaken in. With great pleasure, our speaker compiled and the event was confirmed. Despite facing obstacles such being school negotiation, date and planning, and staff management, our team held together and finally made this event successful, showing just how truly powerful student empowerment is. And finally, the time of our main event has arrived. May we invite our honored guest speaker, founder, and CEO of Fastwork, Kun C.K. to the stage to share his thoughts on the topic of the future of young entrepreneurship, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me a round of applause to welcome Kun C.K.
Hello everyone, it's CK. It's been a pleasure. Hi everyone. So it's my first time in Mahidol, and I'm very Mahidol, not the university at least, but my first time around this area, and I'm very excited, very excited, and to know that this program is oriented and conducted by students. You know I'm proud. You know I'm very proud. But today I want to talk about this concept of dare to dream. I think you've seen this in quite a few places. Could be my content, could be fast work, whatever it is. I say this term a lot, dare to dream. And I want to tell you about the backstory of this phrase. So, dare to dream, I try to study, there's a business perspective, which I try to look at iconic brands. So, brands such as Kit Kat, have a break, have a Kit Kat. This slogan has been around since 1957, and they still use that today. It's very interesting because Kit Kat as a brand, they're not selling chocolate, they're selling indulgence. They're selling the feeling when you have a Kit Kat. Take a break, have a Kit Kat. So that's what they're selling, and that has been around since 1957 to this very day. L'Oreal, because you're worth it. They're not trying to sell cream, they're not trying to sell you sun lotion, they're not trying to sell you cleanser. They're trying to say that you're worth it. You're valuable. So reward yourself a little bit. And this has been around since 1973. This slogan has been around since 1973. It's incredible. And examples I use the most would be Nike. Just do it. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, he used to conduct a town hall, had around a couple thousand people, just like this. And he would say, everyone that runs at least once a month, raise your hand. Stand up. And he went on down the list of saying, oh, everyone that would run once a week, keep on standing up. And it goes to whoever that runs every single day, regardless of how you feel, remain standing. So the number drops from a couple thousand to, maybe 7, 8. And he mentioned how the days that you don't want to run, the days that you're sore, the day that was raining outside but you still run anyway. There's a person under the lamp cheering you. That's Nike. Because the brand that Nike wants to be isn't to reward people that accomplish things. They want to reward people that try. And that's what just do it really means. So if you look at all these Nike commercials, Nike's not trying to tell people why, if you wear my shoes, you'll run fast. If you wear my shoes, it's the most comfortable shoes ever. Nike's not trying to sell that, but Nike's trying to sell the feeling. When you wear Nike, you can do it. Because they understand that it doesn't matter if it's cream, chocolate, or shoes, clothes. These are replaceable commodities. These are things that can be replaced. The feelings of indulgence, the feeling of self-worth, and the feeling of you can freaking do it. Now that's priceless. So I took motivation, so I took inspiration from that. And for fast work is dare to dream. Because I want SMEs in Thailand. If you think about 50 years ago, if you're trying to start a SME, what were the channels to do marketing? Radio, billboards, TV commercials. And these were very expensive. Very, very expensive. It was impossible for SME to even try, to even think about marketing. But now, because we have Facebook, TikTok, social media in general, small businesses can market themselves just like big businesses through digital marketing content. I'll give you another example. Before, when you have a product, it can be cream, can be chocolate, can be some chips. You need distribution. So you would need to try to find your connections and get yourself in the door to big malls, convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Central, Lotus, whatever so on, to beg them, please, put my product in your shelf, please. You want to cut 50% on margin? Sure, no problem. I'll do it anyway. But today we have e-commerce. So no longer do we need to beg. We just need to put our product in e-commerce and sell directly to customer. What I'm trying to say is that these innovation, businesses that change the world, are businesses that empower SMEs. Similar to fast work is, before, in order to have a big companies, you need 200, 300, 400,000 people. But now, if you want to start a business and you don't know how to, hire a lawyer. They can register a company for you. You don't know how to do marketing, you can hire a freelancer to do marketing for you. You don't know how to do content, you can hire camera guys, editor, subtitle, translation. If you don't have the creative, you can hire creatives. Doesn't matter what it is. We can be the arms and the legs, your limbs, to make your dream come true. That's the concept of Dare to Dream. And a dream that I believe that we all love Thailand. I want to reignite that dream. So this is the business perspective. But there is every business starts with a problem. There has to be a problem. And this is the problem perspective. I was raised in the US when I was 13 years old. And I lived there basically almost all my life, majority of my life. And when I was in the US, all my friends were Americans, or at least ABC, Asian-born, American-born Chinese or American-born Asians. And I always talk to college students or my colleagues. What's your dream? Who do you want to become? And Americans would have these big dreams. I want to be the MD for Goldman Sachs. I want to start my own hedge fund. I want to start my own companies. I want to start a nonprofit. I want to go to NBA. Americans would have crazy ambitious dreams. And they would say it. And they would be proud of it. And then I came back to Thailand. And this was perhaps the biggest culture shock for me. I talked to many Thai people, and when I interview staff, team members from Fastwork, I always ask them 5 to 10 years, where do you expect yourself to be? What's your goal? Answers that I got were getting married, having a boyfriend, girlfriend, finding my love, buying a house with my family, buying a car. These were kind of the dreams, and I'm not trying to say that small dreams are bad. I'm not saying that. But rarely do we find Thais that dare to say, I want to do that. I want to change that. And me coming from America, I couldn't understand. I didn't understand why. Why was it like this? So I dig deep. I dig really deep. I went to their families. I tried to interview the moms and dads, and I realized that it's how we're taught. It's how we're taught. In Thai families, we're taughtธุรกิจ ผูกขาด. There are monopolies. You can't beat them. Thailand's like this. ประเทศไทยเป็นอย่างนี้แหละ ประเทศไทยรถติด ประเทศไทยเหลื่อมล้ำ ธุรกิจเขาผูกขาดเราจะสู้ให้เขาได้. This is kind of the teaching that Thai families have taught us to have statement, not questions. Because the statement closes the mind and the question opens the mind. When you make statements, it's like you're accepted that this is the reality. Thailand will forever be, traffic in Thailand is just a part of culture. We accepted it. Thailand has social gap. We accepted it. It's a saying. There's social injustice in Thailand. We accepted it. Politics is dirty here. We accepted it. And that's kind of the bad part, is that not a lot of people dare to ask the questions. And I realized that is a problem. So it's the reason why I create all these contents. I see, the finding is this, is when I make my content, how many of you have seen my content before? Oh, proud, okay. I don't think that the reason why you saw my content, or thank you in advance that you like my content, I don't think that you like my content or appreciate my content because I'm saying things that you don't know. I don't think that's the reason. But the reason why you find my content appealing is because I'm saying things you also think is true. I'm saying the words, the voice that you have in your hearts. And that's the beginning of Dare to Dream. And I really believe it. So that is a major pain point. And so through content and through business, I want to empower Thai people to dream more, do more, be more. Because if you're better, Thailand is better because we're Thais. So, Dare to Dream. But there is also a personal perspective. So I talked about the business perspective of why the slogan is Dare to Dream. I talked about the problem of why fast work or why I do my content, but I also have some personal connection to this thing called Dare to Dream. When I was 13 years old, my family broke up. And long story short, my families wanted to start their own families. And I was born in Macau, and my dad wanted to go back to China, my mom wanted to go back to Thailand, and I was the in-between. And there was no place for me to go. So they decided to send me to the US. Everything was very urgent. My childhood, I wasn't raised in a very loving family. So once they broke up, they have 3 months time of going through different agencies and trying to find connections to send me to the US. And they sent me to Idaho. You know, when they told me when I was 13 years old, when they told me that they were sending me to the US, I thought of, you know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. So I watched some movies. Spider-Man, that's the movie that I loved. That's America, right? That's America, New York. All these tall buildings, majestic buildings, all this history, the American dream, financial district. But Idaho is the opposite of that. I didn't know. I thought I was going to America. I didn't know there were different states. I was 13. But my dad was the same way, right? My parents didn't speak English, but they wanted to send me to the US. So I reached Idaho, and it was this farmland, and they were known for potatoes. It was very opposite from what I expected. And when I was in America, after 13 years old, I'd probably seen my parents less than 10 times, then to now. And I realized that so similar to here, I finished school at 3, and my host family, I stay with the host family. The host family have the responsibility to take me to school and take me from school, but they don't have the responsibility to take me to see my friends and pick me up after I play with my friend or I hang out with my friends. And that was frustrating because I was a teenager. Me too. I want to have a little date. I want to hang out with my friends, go to the movie theater, walk at this street, that street, whatever it is, right? I want to have my teenager moment, but it was hard. And there weren't Ubers back in the days. There were things, this thing called borrowed taxi. It was a taxi that you had to call. So it's not like Thailand that there's a taxi everywhere. Yeah, I would have to call a service called borrowed taxi, and I would have to tell them the time, and they would have to drive to my doorstep, and that's how it goes. But go and return would cost $60 US, and I couldn't afford it. So I realized back in the days that I needed money, because without money, literally, I had no freedom. Literally, physically, I had no freedom. So at a very young age, I knew that money was important. So I started part-time jobs. I started all these walking the dog, mowing the lawn, and babysitting. And I would make $20, $30, $50 per hour, depends on how nice the neighbors were. And I realized that this taught me a very important lesson, was that because I worked per hour, I knew how valuable money was. So if I were to buy a steak for $30 US, I knew that, wow, I had to work an hour for that. Hell no, I'm not gonna pay for that. So But I realized that if I use my time to make money, I will always be a slave to it. So I realized I need a different route. I need to make money in my sleep. I need to, start investing. So I borrowed my dad's name to open an account, a brokerage account with TD Ameritrade. I didn't know what I was doing. But basically, long story short, I invested in companies that I was a fan of. And this is the catch, and this is the moment I want us all to really listen. What we like today, you guys are the future. Literally. I'm not saying that because it sounds good or I'm no. You guys are literally the future. The things that you like now are the things that the future will like. Really. Because back in the days, I had no financial literacy. I don't know anything about PE ratio, profit, revenue, cost, income statement. Hell, I don't know. I could barely do algebra. But I was investing in things that I love. I invested in Amazon because all my books were bought through Amazon. It was a huge hit. I invested in Facebook because that was how I connected with my friends. Apple, because that's the smartphone that I love. And Google, because I use Google for all my homeworks. I know it sounds obvious now. Back in the days, it wasn't obvious. Back in the day, it was not obvious at all. But I invested in things that I love. And long-term investing brought me to where I am today. But again, it took a lot of discipline, of saving, of investing, but finally I reached my goal of financial freedom. Around 27, 28, I reached that goal to a point that I can finally retire. But the problem is, I didn't know how to act. Because once we all think of, we have an image, right, of what is success. And once we get there, we thought that success must be, buying this car, buying this house. I didn't know any better. So I look at examples online. And I tried that and I did that and I realized that did not bring me happiness. So the first year of me being successful was actually the same year that I got into antidepressant pills. I was depressed. I couldn't believe it. And I went to the psychiatrist. She was asking me, what the hell are you here? You're not even 30 years old. You have financial freedom, this is the time of your life, but why are you here? I couldn't tell her. And I took this medication called Lexapro. Hopefully y'all haven't taken antidepressant before, but what antidepressant pill is supposed to do to you is, it doesn't make you feel happy, it makes you feel numb. So I didn't feel up, I didn't feel down, I feel numb. I didn't feel anything. But it was during those 6 months that really saved my life. Because I realized that when I was climbing this mountain, I was freaking happy. The dream wasn't at the mountain top, the dream was in between. If you interview any mountain climber, people that climb mountains, they didn't climb a mountain because they would like to be at the mountain top. Because when they're at the top, they maybe take some pictures, check in on Instagram, shoot some story, but after 20 minutes, try to find another mountain. They climb mountains because they love the process of climbing mountains. They didn't climb mountains to be at the mountain top. And I realized I need to have another mountain. I need to find another mountain. I need to find another goal, another dream, another things I can chase. But I'm smarter this time. This was 2 years ago, two and a half years ago, and I want to be smart this time because I want to set a goal that I cannot touch. It's not a money value, it's not a car, it's not something I can touch. I wanted something intangible. So I decided to commit myself to this goal is before I die, I want to make Thailand a better place. Because I knew I would never achieve this. Thailand can be better. It would never be perfect. And that's just okay with me. And that's okay with me. And I already told my parents that the day that I die, I didn't want to spend with them the last minute or wherever it is. I want to pull up my phones and be like, hey guys, peace out. I did everything I could. I want to die trying. I want to die in between. Because the in-between is where I I'm happiest. But Thailand, I can't just make this up. I can't just say that, convince myself to love Thailand. Why Thailand? I wasn't born here. I have a citizenship card, by the way. I have an ID card, so I am Thai. But why Thailand? I wasn't born here, I wasn't raised here. I didn't study here. Why Thailand? I can't just convince myself to love something. I was born in a broken family, and I was born without it. When I was living with my host family since I was 13 years old, every winter break or summer break, I needed to go back somewhere. They expected me to go back to my home country because they want to have their own family vacations as well, and I'm not a part of that. So I didn't know where to fly to. I didn't want to fly to Macau because Macau is expensive. The only place I could have gone is Thailand because it's the only place I can rent for 3,000 a month, and I can spend 200 a day, I'm talking about a day for food. It's the only place. And 200 baht, I got options. Like 7-Eleven, tons of options. And at that moment, the things I loved the most, LAN game. All these game cafe, 10 baht an hour, I could be there all night. I could even sleep there. I've tried. It's actually not too bad. This was the soil that I lived in. But I found this on Google Maps. But Chala Bumpin Soy 10. I lived here every summer, every winter. And I lived right here. This used to be a gaming cafe. I think it has changed now. It used to be a gaming cafe. This is a lantampong. This 7, but usually I think the Google car came at a different time, but usually there are vendors here. ตรงนี้คือร้านส้มตำร้านเกาเหลามันจะมีร้านไก่ทอดที่ขายหลัง4 ทุ่มตรงเนี้ย The reason why this is important because every year I came back, these people remember me. Wow, CK, you came back. Wow, CK, you got taller. Wow, CK, how was school? How was America? Tell me about it. Thailand, Thai people created a home for me when I didn't have one. So I would look forward to coming to Thailand. I would look forward to coming home every summer, every vacations, all the way up to college, all the way up to when I had a job. Without Thailand, I'm telling you, really, it wouldn't be scary. Without Thailand, I wouldn't have a place to go. I don't know where I would be. It's because of Thailand that I have something to look forward to every year. I look forward to summer. You know, all these kids are happy for summer. I'm happy too because I can go back to Thailand. I always talk about the happiest moment every year for me. It's Suvarnabhumi. When I get there, it has a unique smell that I would like, oh, I'm here, I'm back. And the saddest day would always be like Suvarnabhumi as well when I have to go back. And that's why, because I'm proud to be Thai and I love Thailand. I say this from the bottom of my heart. I know that there are a lot of imperfections in Thailand. It might not be perfect, it might be, and you know, I've heard things, comments of some of the young people talking about that Thailand, we're losing hope in Thailand and I want to go somewhere else. And I want to be an example and at least I want to be a voice to tell y'all that we are not the passenger, we're the pilot. We drive this plane. We have the power to change Thailand. I don't want you to be discouraged for what is happening or what has happened. I'm hopeful. And I believe that we can be the change. I don't have to wait for the change. I'm being the change. For those of you who think politics is everything, I would argue that business is equally important. Things that change the world are businesses. Apple are businesses. Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla. These are businesses. I understand the environment is important as well, but I want us to remain hopeful. I understand that, and I believe that you also love Thailand the way I do. And I want you to be proud when you say it. That's it. Thank you. Do we have Q&A or no? Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
That was a genuinely captivating section, Quincy Hezur. We are sincerely appreciating all the time and effort you have invested in preparing and giving this speech. Your articulated speech motivated us all to learn more about the subject at hand, and is certain to leave a lasting impression in the back of minds, even after this event has ended. This privilege is ours to have you as our speaker today, Quincy Hezur. Thank you very much for sparing us your valuable time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you right there. I love you.
Next up, may all the staff gather together to take a group photo, please?
Please do.
And for the audience, please still remain seated. Thank you.
I'm that Chinese that you have to give me a food. And apparently in Chinese culture, you're not supposed to give it like that. You need to give it like that. You know? For those of you that know. Like, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's not there yet, but yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.